Mr. Purdy, tell me about your accident. What exactly happened?
I was at work and there was some ice on a inclined concrete driveway that I just never saw. I was simply walking and never saw it. I stepped and I slid completely. I went down the hill, slid foot first into a curb. And when I did, it basically took my lower leg and it did this with it. And when it did that, I had broke 3 bones and tore a bunch of tendons and ligaments. And I laid there on the ice till the ambulance came.
So how old were you at the time of your accident?
I was 36.
Healthy, you never had any issues with your ankles?
No.
After the accident, did you feel like you immediately needed to look for a lawyer?
No, my first impression was that, especially given what the doctor was telling me, it was only going to be 12 weeks. And my first impression was, don't rock the boat because I need my job. And so, no, I stayed away from it. I kind of kept it in the back of my mind as, because I've never had anything this serious. I hope I never have anything this serious again. And so, no, I didn't want to do the lawyer. It was actually 2 months from my injury before I actually sought counsel.
And what kind of work exactly were you in?
I'm a licensed master electrician, hold Class 2 unrestricted license in the state of Georgia, and I do, at that time, the company I was working for, we did water treatment, sewage, pump stations, clear wells, and that type. It's funny because the injury actually happened on Easy Friday, doing basically a little just busy work job, putting site lighting on at a local park.
So, in between the time you were injured and you hired a lawyer, what were the issues that you ran into?
First and foremost, that really bothered me was immediately, though they were friendly, immediately the insurance company had a caseworker nurse that worked directly for the insurance company who kind of basically pushed her way in. She was very passive aggressive about it, but and she wanted to be there every time I'm talking to the doctor, every time he's talking to me, and the more it happened, the more I was like, she's not interested, really. She works for the insurance company, so she's more worried about getting them off the hook than what's best for me. And I also felt like it was an invasion of my privacy. The insurance company early on hounded me and harassed me to give a written statement, a recorded statement, which I did. And I started getting bills in the mail from like the ambulance and various other medical bills. And it was getting to the point of where the insurance company would not take or return my calls. And so I was the one being stuck with these bills. And at that point, and the more I thought about it, the more I talked to people about how serious my injury was, I was like, I need to do something to protect my future. So,
how did you hear about Powers Law Group?
Honestly, I live locally, and I've driven by it many times before. I had actually gone online to a website that connects you with lawyers, and the one that they connected me with was a lawyer in Atlanta, and I talked to him initially, and he just would never respond. After that, when I called back with a couple more questions, and then I was actually ready to hire a lawyer, and I just could not get a response from the man. And so I was like, I need I need to do something now, and I didn't want to do the whole go off of the TV ads lawyer. To me, that's not as, you don't get as good service with that. And so I went online and I just started vetting Powers Law Group, and I liked what I saw. And so I called up and immediately got to talk to the lawyer. Adam came out that afternoon within a couple hours and met with me in person. So based on what I saw online and the initial talking on the phone with the clerk and then with Adam in person, I felt like this was the one for me.
So the difference between having no representation and then after you hired Powers Law Group, how did that affect your experience in dealing with your injury and the insurance company?
I was able to focus strictly on getting better, which in and of itself, because I was unable to walk for 15 weeks. I ended up being medically disabled with this for just over a year, and that in and of itself, for someone that's worked his whole adult life, just not having anything to do in and of itself, on top of the pain and everything else with the injury, it is its own daily struggle. And Adam told me that first day when he interviewed me that I would not have to deal with the insurance company harassing me anymore. I would not have to worry about getting the bills paid. I would not have to worry about getting poor care or having things, just it brought a peace of mind to me to not have to worry about, are they just trying to do as little as possible for me. I had that backup, that knowledgeable backup that was, I could focus on what I had to focus on.
Have you been satisfied with your just your treatment and care from this office since the time you were hired, and are you happy with the result that they were able to?
Very much so, yeah. The staff has been wonderful. They take my calls, and if they don't have the answer, then they would call me back. And Adam has been very down to earth, but at the same time too very knowledgeable and able to fight. But at the same time, he could be very frank with me in a good way, to where I didn't feel like I was just being promised a whole bunch of stuff that was not realistic. He was, it was, and that to me is important. I've been, I'll be honest, if I ever know of anyone that needs one, I'll recommend Powers.
Is there anything that you'd like to add, just about your case, or just anything else that you'd like to add?
The only thing I would say is there's a stigma for people that get hurt on the job, and yes, there are people that fake it, but the only thing I would say is do what you have to do to protect yourself. My ankle's never going to be the same.